Unity of the Huachucas presents Reverend Sue Oliver. Letting go and letting love lead.
So, it is my honor to introduce again Reverend Sue Oliver. And you know what I like about Sue Oliver? Make sure you show them your notes because they are so cool.
Thank you so much. I'll show you my notes. I started watercoloring again, and I thought about doing them in watercolor next time. So there's a heart in the middle, and it says, when we feel and we lead with love, all else follows. So thank you for having me again. It's been several months, so it's just a blessing. And I'm just going to take a moment. You know, I pick love because Valentine's Day is Wednesday, and I thought to myself, let's lead with the question of when I say Valentine's Day, what comes up? What comes up for you? There's a lot of feelings and emotions. I know for myself, we were sharing before the service how many folks have birthdays in February. My mom's birthday, she passed away in 2012. Her birthday was the 20th of February, and she passed away on February 2nd. I think she was holding out and kind of got a digit wrong. But anyway, so there's a lot of feelings that can come up for Valentine's Day. I also heard from you and others when I asked them about Valentine's Day is, why is it only one day? You know, and why is it as commercial as it is? And so we're going to talk a little more about love is ever-present, omniscience. God is the love that you are, right here, right now, always, infinitely, constantly, and instantly. There's no spot where God is not the love, the Christ consciousness, the essence, the love that you are right here and now. And that's the truth. So we talk about that being the absolute truth. And I think about myself and I think about Valentine's Day, and for me, Valentine's Day, maybe some of you can relate, but I got some really nice Valentine's Days growing up, and I remember giving some Valentines to some folks when I was a child, and also getting some that were thrown back. It's like, nope, you know, I don't like you, I don't love you. And so when I was growing up as a child, I had asthma, I had allergies, I physically did not look very healthy. So I grew up really feeling ashamed of my looks and feeling like I was not lovable. I had wonderful parents. But over the years, I got into that place of thinking about love being outside of myself. Love's an inside job. We know that. That's the truth of who we are. And yet for some of us growing up, or some of us even now, there's this notion, particularly with what we hear in the news and the commercials and the advertisements and all this stuff out there, that somehow love comes to us. Somehow it's limited. Somehow I need to look a certain way. I need to be a certain way. I'm not yet retired. I notice as I get within a couple years of retirement, I wonder, as I honestly sometimes define myself by what I do, and I forget that love is who I am, regardless of what I say, what I do. It comes with me as I walk in the door. Each one of you are the love essence of the universe, uniquely, divinely, magnificently showing up and expressing here, now, and always. I mean, it's amazing. When I come here and visit, I can feel the love palpable coming up, springing forth, snowing forth, if you will. The minute I walk in the door, even before I get here, like that's what love is all about. And so when I think about Valentine's Day, and getting close to retirement and thinking about now that I'm single again, going out even into this thing called the dating world. Maybe some of you are single out there and can relate or not. And I notice there's this little tug that says somehow I have to look a certain way or be a certain way to really experience love in relationship. And that's so not the truth. And I forget. And I'm totally, if you haven't heard me speak before, I'm really upfront. I don't get up here and confess to have it all figured out, wrapped up with a bow on it, that I'm learning and growing along with each one of you and remembering. What I love about this community, what I love about community, spiritual community and unity, is that we get to remind each other who we are. Why? Because we forget. We're in an election year. We're supposedly in a challenging economy. Prices are going up, gas is going down. There's all this stuff that last time I was here, I mentioned that if I sit in front of the computer or listen to the news, it is so easy for me to forget. So easy for me to either go into a place of grasping and looking for love in all the wrong places out there, or hunkering down and armoring my heart and closing it down. One of my teachers, Pema Chodron, talks about this being the soft spot. The heart. The heart. Okay? I wore my heart today, and I wore it on my earrings to remind me again, yet again, that this is where we connect with each other, through the heart chakra. And there's an idea called heart coherence, where when we're vibrating in love, it just amplifies, and we connect and it amplifies. And so as we were meeting with Reverend Charlie this last week, we connected the folks that are speaking here and serving here, a couple ministers, myself included. Reverend Charlie brought us together and said, let's hold the community in prayer. And so we were basking this community here and beyond in love, and remembering who we are, you are, and holding the high, glorious love watch for what's next unfolding as this community. And so Reverend Charlie had this big smile on your face, and if you haven't connected with her yet in person or live, just this wonderful light, love effusing, just it, right? I mean, just a hoot and a holler. So we were there, and we were just sharing how much we love. I love each one of you, collectively and individually as this community, everybody on that call. And it was gives me God bumps to think about the love and the prayer that was being held for each one of you here as the community continues to not so much expand, but just become more of who it already is in the mind of God, outpicturing. So I mentioned I forget, and with my childhood, I've learned one of my biggest life lessons has been that it's not out there, it's inside, that I bring it with me wherever I go. It comes with me when I enter any place, wherever I go, that I am the light of the universe, that I am God's gift to the world, God's gift to the world. So if somebody asks you, what makes you think you're God's gift to the universe? You can say, because I'm love in action. I am the divine love in form. And that's the truth. And so what gets in the way for me is what's behind these two, or what's between these two ears, my ego, edging God out, as one of my ministers, Reverend Jonathan Zen, says, edging God out, versus eros, which is love, the love God, right? Eros versus ego. So I start to think small. I think about armoring my heart, and I think that I have to somehow earn or get love from the outside in, and remembering that it's actually an inside-out job. Last time I was here, I mentioned the happy places, taking a moment and thinking about where your happy places, because the theme was zeal and enthusiasm. And today, as we get closer to Valentine's Day, and just really more importantly, remembering the love that we are, sitting in your very seat, breathing your breath, beating your heart, literally, the invitation is to think about where you experience and feel the love. I mentioned last time I have he's still alive, an old deaf rescue pug, Bob. And I've decided to get Bob a girlfriend. Not yet, but I'm going to call, that was my dad's name, and my mom's name was Ann, so I'm going to get look for a female pug, rescue pug, and call her Ann. So we have Bob and Ann are my rescue. Those are the places where I look at Bob, like I did this morning as I was saying goodbye, and as you think about where you feel the love, it's this warm feeling in our hearts, right? It's like this opening, and it's like wherever I go, it's like, wow, it's like I want to embrace and love everything. And so thinking about whether or not it's with your friends, maybe some of your partners, some of your family members, maybe not, animals, nature, spending more time in the places where you feel the love. Not that it comes from the outside in, but that you are the love and it connects and resonates. And that's really actually would be the homework for today, is just remembering where that is, where you feel that love, letting go, letting love lead. What would love do? And I used to think when I was growing up in the more traditional Christian churches, it's like, what would Jesus do? And then one of my mentors, as I was going through ministerial school, said, well, what would love do? If we think about what's going on in the world in our day-to-day, driving at the grocery store, at the gas station with our friends, family, and those that maybe don't share the same views that we do. Perhaps if there is a pause where I can just breathe and ask the question, what would love do? A world that works for all certainly could unfold and is unfolding when we let love lead. And sometimes it feels like, yeah, but look what's going on. It doesn't seem like in my lifetime. And yet, if I'm truly honest and stand in the firm commitment that a world that works for all beings everywhere is not only a possibility, it is the truth unfolding, and there is no time or space in God at all, that it's unfolding now even though I may not see it. And I can continue to water those seeds of love, those seeds of love within me in each and every action. Do you ever go to like a store and kind of tune out and not even look at the person that you're at the cashier? And I'm honest, sometimes I do, sometimes I forget. And it's amazing to me the difference in my day and in the days and the difference I make when I'm connecting with other people. When I take that moment and ask, what would love do? I'm love in action and I want to connect, really connect. And when I want to ask that question, how are you? How are you really being and doing today? Not, hey, how's it going? Good, good, good. You know what I mean? That superficial. Yeah. Dipping into that soulful, heartful connection where we really are remembering who we are. God in form, one God, one love, one heart. Simple, not always easy. Maybe it's just me. I get wrapped up in the day-to-day, the stuff, and just forget. So finding the place, the conditions, the fertile soil. I'm an avid gardener, and so the idea of just watering the seeds, fertilizing the soil of our hearts, so that when difficult things do arise, that we can actually respond rather than react. Respond from a place of love rather than reacting from fear, doubt, worry, all that stuff that happens when I let my ego lead rather than letting love lead. So I'm going to kind of pull this back around and end with an acronym LAMP, L-A-M-P. Anybody have a lava lamp when they were growing up? You know what a lava lamp is. Yeah, heads are nodding. Okay. So imagine that you are lava lamps right here and now. You are lava lamps. So L-A-M-P. So what I love about community is we get to practice. So if the heart is the biggest muscle, the strongest muscle in the body, and we get to practice letting love lead, which can be simple, not always easy, and we're working that muscle every single instant. And it starts with our own love of ourselves and remembering who we are. Then community is the perfect place to practice. This community, practicing love, letting love lead. So how do we do that? You get to do it and be in it with others. And the first L for lamp is learning and growing. It doesn't have to be formal classes, but reading, studying, connecting, teaching, sharing ideas, different perspectives. It's like that elephant where one person sees the tail, and another sees the trunk, and another sees the foot. It's like they all have different views of what it is, especially in the global events that are happening now. Different perspectives. L for learning. I'm going to say laughing too. Learning and laughing and growing. Lessons. A for taking action and putting love into action. So simple acts of kindness, like making eye contact and thanking the person that's checking you out. Or maybe opening the door. I opened the door a couple times this last week and I thought, what was I thinking before then? Just kind of going in. So I just noticed that just holding the door open, little acts, random acts of kindness can make a big difference. And bigger service as well. Volunteering, sharing your time, your talents, your treasures of this community and beyond. Putting that heart muscle into action. A. So learning, action, meditation. And we'll have a short little meditation after this as we move into prayer. So allowing the stillness to have its way, the quietude. Being still, and knowing God is, I am. Love is, I am. Love is, we are. Whatever that is, walking meditation, sitting meditation, meditation in the back of the room, the healing circle. Just remember in that safe, sacred sanctuary right here, God is, we are. Infinitely, constantly, and instantly expressing love. And that's why sometimes I forget. Because with the chatter, my mind chatter and everything going on in the world, I listen to other voices rather than the still small voice. The Christ consciousness within. So LAMP for prayer, affirmative prayer. We love to pray in unity. We love to hold ourselves and others in sacred, magnificent prayer. And really what's happening with prayer is just simply affirming and knowing the truth, this truth that God is who we are, love is who we are, light is who we are, prosperity and flow is who we are, always. And knowing it for ourselves and holding it and reflecting it back to each other. You know, I think about the ideal Valentine. I was going to get some Valentines and bring him here, and I thought, that's kind of a little hokey. But really, if anything, I would bring a mirror, and I'd hand each one of you a mirror and just say, look how magnificent each one of you are. As I look around the room and just catch each one of your eyes, just a wonderful love showing up right here, right now. So that's really the homework, is to just remember. Maybe when you're feeling tight, when I forget, I get tight. I usually notice when I'm with somebody, if I'm in my head and out of my heart, I'm up here thinking. There's nothing wrong with thinking. But I'm really connecting with somebody, I'm here. It's heart to heart, regardless. So my invitation is to notice when, throughout this upcoming week, including Valentine's Day, where you might feel that tightness. You might feel the closing down. You might feel the grasping of wanting to get love from the outside in. And just stop and breathe. I've got an ending quote by one of my favorite teachers, Reverend Roger Teal. He was the senior minister at Mile High Church for quite a while. And he's got a wonderful book. It's called This Life is Joy. Discovering the spiritual laws to live more powerfully, lovingly, and happily. And that's what he says about love as we approach Valentine's Day. The 24/7, 365 days a year Valentine's Day. Think about this for a moment. You cannot be more loved. Unfathomable love surrounds and indwells us all. And this love never has to be earned and cannot be lost. To take this in, really allow it in, is to immerse oneself in the greatest mystery and miracle of all. There's nothing more healing than this experience, and from this place of being loved flows all true happiness, creativity, joy, and peace. Our only job is to learn to keep our hearts open, activated, and warmed. The highest and best will then take care of itself in the most powerful and blessed of ways. So we're going to just take that in for a moment. Settle in. If you feel comfortable leaving your eyes open or closed, move into some quiet reflection, and then we'll close with a prayer. Maybe taking a few breaths in and out, feeling the love, feeling the light that you are, that we are. Maybe even feeling the heartbeat within your own body. And it's in this moment, God breathing our breath, beating our hearts, experiencing and expressing itself as us right here and now. No place where God is not, where love is not, can't help itself. And I simply affirm the one power and presence that is love, many names, many faces, God, Spirit, Christ consciousness, the essence of the universe. Love, 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 light, joy, so many qualities. Peace, vibrancy, health, wholeness, perfect relationships, order, perfect outcomes in all ways, answered prayer. And so right here now I know for each one here, and those that aren't here, we're holding them in our hearts. For this community, for this city, for this county, for this state, for the nation, for the world, that a world that works for all is unfolding as we lead with our hearts, as we lead with love, as we choose love over fear, as we allow God to have its way in and through and as each one of our affairs, each one of our days, everything is love in action, as we choose to allow it to be. And so I simply affirm that for each one here and those we're holding in our prayer in the nation and the world and beyond, that there is nothing for us to make happen. It's a stepping off of the channel, the infinite source of love in our own lives, just letting go and letting love lead. Releasing, letting go, and expressing all that seeks to connect and love, loving itself through, in, and as us. And so we are attracting the most magnificent situations, events, individuals, activities, as we make our way from this moment on. I celebrate this time together. I celebrate this community. I give great thanks for its flourishing. I give great thanks for the love that it is, shining even more brightly in the world in a time that can feel oftentimes so dark. And so I just affirm the light, the love, the joy, here, now, always. And I just let it go, let it be. Know it so. So it is. So we are. Amen.